Hey guys, this is Cam315. I'm back at it with another video for you guys. And I'm back with another Pokemon Journeys review. This is supposed to go up early in the morning, but I forgot to watch the episode, but I watched the episode literally like a few hours ago. And then I had things to do, so obviously I'm now getting out the review now. But this was another good episode. And I'm really liking this arc, man. I'm gonna be honest. I think most people can definitely say this. The animated version of The Darkest Day, or the Pokemon Sword and Shield storyline, is much more better than the Sword and Shield games telling of the story mode. Like, seriously, you have Ash and Go split up, so you have them doing their own thing. They make, the threat of this sound much more freaking, like, I guess, worse. Eternatus, he actually seems like a freaking threatening Pokemon that could end Galar in its existence by just making Pokemon just randomly Dynamax and stuff like that. And then Chairman Rose, bruh, he's much more of a better antagonist in the anime version than his game version. In the game version, he just comes out of nowhere and he's evil for no reason. Here, they actually explain, why he's freaking evil to begin with. Oh, and also, to come to think of it, we also have a backstory on him, which we got nothing from in the video game. We actually get a backstory, just like we did with Leon, how in the past, in the games, we barely got no backstory on Leon and Sonia and how they were good friends and how Leon became such a strong champion and stuff like that. Didn't get none of that in the games. We didn't get any of the reasons in the games as well why Rose was bad. Oh, we find out here in this episode why he's kind of bad. Because his dad kind of was, not really that good himself, and I guess you could say his dad's death fueled him or in some sort of insane type of way. So, we get backstory for Rose, and I'm like, he sounds much more damn near menacing in the anime version than the game version. The game version, he's like, plop, here I go, I'm evil. So, either do what you do or get out of the way. And I'm like, he just came out of nowhere. That's why I say Pokemon Sword and Shield, they don't really have an evil team. The evil team is essentially the guy running the damn Pokemon League. Anyways, let's get into this week's review. So anyways, where we last left off, obviously, Go and Sonia are in Stow-on-Side town or city, I don't know what you call it. It's called Stow-on-Side. And essentially what happens is we know that they broke the little freaking Muriel and it revealed the true, statues of Zamazenta and Zacian and the two heroes. We see the continuation of the fight between Gigantamax Garbodor and Dynamax Raboot. Raboot managed to beat Gigantamax Garbodor and it makes the freaking Macrocosmos guy run away and retreat. They eventually, they run away. As they're looking, that's when Go and Sonia now realize, oh, there wasn't just one hero. There were two heroes with two Pokemon. And Go makes mention, I saw that one Pokemon in the Slumbering World, which was Zamazenta and stuff like that. So she's intrigued and she's like, okay, that's pretty much the story and stuff like that. And it cuts over to Ash a bit. Now he's leaving for Stow-on-Side because he told Go that we'd meet him there, but he actually does think about what Chairman Rose was saying, but he kind of brushes over like, 1,000 years, man, that's a long time, huh? Yeah. The more Macros Cosmos goons come back, try to capture Go and Sonia. But Go takes Sonia's hand and he's like, we're just going to charge through these guys. So they literally push through these guys. They get in the car and essentially Go tells her, look, let's go back to the Slumbering World so we can reawaken Zacian and Zamazenta so they can help us with this whole Darkest Day crap going on. Or how they call it, the Black Night. I'm just going to keep it calling it the Darkest Day. So, that's what they're going to do. Now, it cuts over to Leon. Now, Leon actually is heading, like we saw last week, who is in Hammerlock City. He's heading to the underground basement area, the underground laboratory, to essentially speak with Chairman Rose to see what the hell's going on. Do you know anything that's going on and stuff like that? And as he goes in, obviously, you know, the scientists are like, holy shit, the Galar particles are getting out of control. And it gets all haywire and stuff like that. And essentially, it leaves more of a Dynamax beam. And essentially, you know, as Ash is flying on his Dragonite, he sees the beam just flying everywhere else and stuff like that. So, yeah, that's when Ash heads back to Hammerlock City to essentially go stop the problem. But also in the meantime, we see Eternatus finally out of its little confined cage or something like that, and essentially it escapes. It gets through the higher levels. It has a quick little encounter with Team Rocket. It fires one, I guess, a Dynamax beam at it, and it hits Meowth, and Meowth actually Gigantamaxes into his Gigantamax form, and he's berserk, and he starts attacking Team Rocket and stuff like that. Now, cutting back to Go and Sonia, they finally get back to the Slumbering Wells, and they're calling out for Zacian and Zamazenta. They both appear before them, and then they kind of walk off, which later leads them to the shrine where, you know, in the game, you get the acquire items, the old sword or the old shield, based on what version you're playing in the game. So Go has that, and he's like, okay, I guess I got to take this back to Hammerlock and see what this has to do, and maybe this will work in terms of the Darkest Day stuff happening and things like that. So yeah, now it cuts over to what Ash is doing, and the funny thing is Ash almost gets hit by Eternatus at close range, but he actually takes the hit. Well, he dodges it just barely. Well, Dragonite dodges it just barely. So, yeah, Leon shows up, and it looks like they're about to have a conversation with Eternatus, but Rose comes out of the shadows, and he's like, you know, do you like what you're seeing here and stuff like that? And essentially, Chairman Rose reveals his true nature, the fact that he's not really a good guy. He's evil, and essentially, he's putting thousands of people's lives at risk for his so-called plan of having Eternatus being savior and stuff like that. Now we also do find out that in the research they were doing, Eternatus can essentially release Galar particles indefinitely, like anytime it wants to. It can release those Galar particles, which essentially makes Pokemon Dynamax. Stuff like that. Now Rose says, look, you know, champion, you know, after everything I've done, I raised you and stuff like that, and I groomed you to become, you know, a hero. So please do me a favor, capture Eternatus, so then you can essentially control it, and you can be a savior amongst the Galar people. And I'm like, that's kind of fucked up, because people could die. And Rose didn't give no Fs. Now, like I said at the beginning of this review, I said, as opposed to the games, we actually got a backstory here to Chairman Rose, even though it was like a 5-second, you know, backstory. Essentially, back in the day when he was younger, Chairman Rose's father essentially used to work in the mines, and he was working in the mines to find these Galar particles, so, you know, it can back up his claims and then obviously make money for his family to support his family and stuff like that. But Rose goes into say because of a, you know, surprise accident or an incident that happened. Essentially, you know, they say in the PG way for Pokemon viewers, obviously for the kids, because they say, oh, he never returned home. No, the dad got into an accident, probably in the mines, and died. So, yeah, Pokemon's pretty dark, even though they said, well, he never came home. They're only saying he never came home because that's for the kids, you know, who watch Pokemon and stuff like that. Because, yeah, you just can't say on a kid's TV show, yeah, my dad died in an accident. Yeah, essentially the dad died And essentially, that's the reason why it fuels him, or, fuels Rose to essentially get these Galarian particles. So you can say his dad's death kind of, made him insane to get these Galarian particles, and I guess make a chaotic world. Like, he was talking like, I want to make the world into chaos, and then like, you can be the hero to save it all. And I'm like, but at the same time, what if there's casualties? And we saw in past, like 2 weeks ago, he don't even care about casualties getting caught in the crossfires in this event. So yeah, so obviously Leon's like, bro, I'm not down with this stuff, man. I'm not down. Leon says, look, I'm going to capture the Pokemon. I'll catch it, but I'm going to do it so it can calm the hell down. And, Chairman Rose is like, damn it, you really do disappoint me, don't you, champion? And stuff like that. I'm like, bro, what the hell? This guy is crazy. Anyways, in the meantime, Eternatus escapes this safe barrier that was protecting it in. It escapes the safe barrier. It's on the top of Hammerlock Tower, or the building above the gym and stuff like that. So just like the game's gonna be in there, and I guarantee you it's gonna, I guess, go into that Pan Dynamax form. I don't know, whatever that is. So yeah. In the meantime, Ash and Leon are like, let's go take care of Eternatus and stop it. But Rose is like, yeah, I'm not gonna let you do that. So he brings out his Caparaja, which is the second evolution of Punch. I don't know the first evolution of that little elephant Pokemon. I don't know. Yeah, I had to look again. These Galar Pokemon I had to look up. Yeah, he brings out his Caparaja, which is Rose's signature Pokemon in the games. He also brings out a Ferrothorn. A Ferrothorn later. And that's what Ash is fighting with, his Riolu and Pikachu. Leon goes up to confront the Eternatus, but we all know, just like the games, he's more than likely going to lose. Go and Sonia finally get to Hammerlock City. Sonia's like, go ahead, I'll take care of these, goons and stuff like that. Go's going to get the stuff and find Ash. Now, I'm like, oh, okay. I'm like, all right, so Sonia might bring out a Pokemon and fight and stuff like that. And she kind of doesn't, even though in the games we know her base Pokemon is Yamper. But technically she can't pull out Yamper because that's Koharu or Chloe's Pokemon, essentially, in terms of, where it's going. And I'm like, oh, well, great. Now she's damsel in distress. But Raihan comes in with the save, and he brings out his Dragon-type Pokemon. I forgot that Pokemon's name. And essentially he's like, sorry, but I can't let you hurt this pretty young girl, or this pretty young lady, so, okay. Do Leon and Raihan fight, for Sonia as well? Okay. Wait, look, I'm not denying it. Sonia is, whoo, I love me some Sonia. Anyways, when Go enters the Hammerlock, area to be able to find Ash, he actually runs into Alenia, and Alenia is like, listen, I'm not gonna let you stop. I'm not gonna let you, destroy my Chairman Rose's will and stuff like that. So essentially, she sends out her Milotic, and she's like, if you want to get to Chairman Rose, you're gonna have to beat me, and stuff like that. Which, okay, and not end the video off. I do like the fact that they changed it here in the anime version, that they made Alenia have a more elegant Pokemon because it suits her. Because in the games, her signature Pokemon, is that Gigantamax Garbodor, which I literally made no sense for her character to have a Gigantamax Garbodor, but at the same time, it's like, well, there is no Gigantamax Milotic. But so Go is somehow gonna use his Rebel to get against a Milotic. But just like in the opening, we see that Go's Raboot is probably going to evolve into a Cinderace. I guarantee you that's probably what's going to happen next week in the battle against Alenia. Those Raboot's gonna probably get beat, and you know, it will eventually evolve into a Cinderace. So yeah, and then in the battle with Pikachu and Riolu against Ferrothorn and Caparaja, because we again in the opening we also see that Ash's Riolu will be a Lucario in the opening. So I guarantee you in that battle too, Riolu will evolve into a Lucario. So yeah, it seems like we're gonna get 2 evolutions coming soon. In terms of what is going on in terms of Pokemon, I thought it was a good episode. This Darkest Day arc, honestly, if you ask me, is the best thing we've gotten in the Pokemon Journey series up to this point, man. Like, honestly, it's so good. It's even better than the game storyline. Like, I really like the attention to detail that the Pokemon Company, who's doing the anime version, is taking their time to actually make the Darkest Day arc much more better in the frickin' anime than the game. And I'm just like, so you can actually put some effort into some main storylines in some frickin' games, or into the anime versions, but in the game versions, they're fucking garbage. But then again, what do I say? It's fucking Game Freak. Game Freak's just about the money. They don't freaking care if the story's average at best. They haven't had a good damn story since Black and White. Let's be honest. Because if you ask me, Pokemon X and Y, that story was ass. Like, what was that story? Plus, the game was easy as hell. Sun and Moon's story, main story to the most part, honestly think in terms of the newer Pokemon games, and that means like the 3D Pokemon games. I think Pokemon Sun and Moon probably has the best story, and I'm saying the original Pokemon Sun and Moon, not Ultra Sun and Moon. Ultra Sun and Moon's story was fine, but I personally prefer Sun and Moon's the original Sun and Moon storyline, because I just like the emotions and the character development that they were giving the character. Honestly, if you ask me, Sun and Moon may not be people's favorite Pokemon games, but Sun and Moon, I have to admit, you even have to admit, in my personal opinion, the original Sun and Moon games are an underrated freaking Pokemon game. I honestly think they're some of the best Pokemon games in the franchise. Some people say otherwise. Some people say Sun and Moon wasn't all that good. But personally, if you ask me, I loved Sun and Moon. Even though, here and there, was the game definitely somewhat easy at some parts of the game? Yes, but I still enjoyed playing the game. I loved the story. I loved the character development, even though some people like to rip on characters like Lily and stuff like that. So yeah. My thoughts on Ultra Sun and Moon, it was fine. I don't mind Ultra Sun and Moon. I thought Ultra Sun and Moon was decent for a story, but it wasn't as good as the originals. And then Sword and Shield, I thought the story was fine for what it was, but it's like kind of underwhelming and stuff like that. But to be honest, I was kind of underwhelmed for Sword and Shield anyways, because I'm like, that's the Pokemon game you wanted to bring to Switch. I thought the Pokemon game they were going to bring to Switch was going to be like crazy in terms of graphical stuff. I thought it was going to be like Breath of the Wild shit. And I don't even play Zelda. And I was like, it's the same old damn Pokemon. You're delegated to every freaking area. The only free area is the damn wild area. But yeah, it is what it is. So maybe I should give my thoughts on the Pokemon games and stuff like that. Maybe I can do that. So yeah. Anyways, I'm gonna get out of here, guys. So if you guys like the video, leave a like. Put in the comment section your thoughts on this week's episode. Do you think Go's Raboot will evolve next week as well as Ash's Riolu? They're definitely gonna evolve either next week or in 2 weeks. Other than that, that's it. Also hit that subscribe button to get more, Pokemon Journeys content, as well as hit that notification icon to make sure you get updated to any content I upload to the channel. So yeah, other than that, hopefully you guys are having a great rest of your day. I know on terms of Saturday, November 7th, it is a very exciting day. I'm just gonna be honest, for some people. The other people, is probably not the best day ever. Yes, again, I said it before and I'll say it again. Please be safe out there, whether it's the virus or even definitely now that the aftermath of the election it's still not, confirmed yet, but it's definitely, you know, pretty much over. So definitely be safe, especially in terms of people after the election. You know, because they might take things a little bit too far. But again, like I said, you know, whatever the outcome of this election was, you got to move on regardless, whether your stance is on the candidates or not, or the candidate that who just won this election. Anyways, I'm Gallagher. Hopefully, you guys have a great rest of your day or night or whenever you're checking this video. So until then, guys, peace.